Welcome to the Airgun Show. This week I'm taking a look at the Mk5 version of the famous Hill Airgun Pump, which promises a great solution for anybody looking for an affordable and fuss-free way to keep their PCPs topped up. First up though, I'm heading to the woods for a roving session and I'm setting my sights on grey squirrels. Right, I'm in the woods today and I'm targeting grey squirrels. The weather looks like it could be a bit of a mixed bag. The sun is certainly in and out. Hopefully it will stay dry, and if it does, I'm confident that we will see a few squirrels. Now, as you may well be able to hear, there are also a few rooks and crows about, but I expect they'll be very likely to clear off once we start moving around. I'm going to go for a bit of a roving approach. First, it's nice to have a bit of a mooch round, but secondly, I'll also just be looking out for clues for places where I can set up feeding stations for future visits. The kit for today, the gun is the FX Impact Mk5. Now I've got one of these in 2.2 at high power. This one is a sub 12 foot-pound 177, and in all honesty, most of the shooting I'm going to do today is likely to be at fairly close quarters, and just using the low powered model, it just means there's less of a concern around ricochet and carry. Now I've got the gun coupled with the Zeiss Conquest V4 scope, which I've been using a lot lately. Now generally, Zeiss haven't always been regarded as an airgun brand, and they do tend to cost a little bit more than your typical airgun scope, but the optical quality is far, far superior. This particular model comes in a variety of sizes and has a wide range of different reticles to choose from, and also at parallax is right down to just 10 yards, so it's perfect for airgun use. If you see one of these in your local gun shop, do have a look through it and you will see what I mean about the brightness and sharpness of these scopes. As ever, scopes mounted up with sports match scope mounts, got absolute faith in them. So that's the rough plan and the kit that I'm going to be using. I'm going to get going and we'll see what we can see. Well, we've had a bit of a walk around and thankfully we haven't seen any squirrels yet, because we've just realised I hadn't mounted up the scope cam. Thankfully it was in my bag, so that's going on now, in the hope that when we do see some squirrels, we'll be able to capture the action through the scope. It's looking perfect. That's the view through the scope. Right, let's get cracking. These woods are managed for forestry, pheasant shooting and conservation, and the presence of grey squirrels is detrimental to all those activities. The aim is to thin them out as ruthlessly as possible, and it doesn't take very long before we clock our first one of the session. Well, there you go. I was just trundling along then, spotted a squirrel out enjoying that bit of sun, came across, I wanted to try and get the leaning shot, came across here a bit clumsily, thankfully the squirrel stayed there, about 25 metres, so from a rested shot it was relatively straightforward, looked like a nice clean kill. I'm going to go in and pick it up.
Don't forget that grey squirrels make for very good eating, better than rabbit in my opinion. This one is going in the bag and then home for the pot, and I hope to be able to add a few more before the session draws to a close. Adopting a mobile approach for squirrels can be challenging, especially on dry summer days when the ground is crunchy underfoot. It's just a matter of keeping your eyes peeled and trying to grab opportunities when they arise.
Right, I spotted that one clambering through the tree. I thought it was going to make a run for it while we were approaching, to be honest, but it didn't. It froze. I guess it was hoping I hadn't seen it, but I had, and the mistake cost it dearly. About the same range as the first one, and another really nice clean headshot. Let's go and pick it up. Right, well, this is interesting. Just spotted a squirrel stray here. Now, it's not the biggest and I'm not convinced that it's active, but pretty close by we've spotted a couple of others, significantly bigger ones. And another interesting fact is that we're very, very close to the field where I was shooting rabbits a few weeks ago, and we actually shot far more squirrels than we'd expected along the woodland edge there. So we know this is an area that they like. The drays really do seem to confirm that. So firstly, it's definitely somewhere I'm going to have to set up a feeding station at some point. But for today, I'm going to find somewhere just to dig in, we'll settle down, keep quiet. It looks like the sort of area where we're almost certain to see a few squirrels. Well, that squirrel clambered up onto a branch and started chewing away at it, and looking at the state of the branch through the scope, it's done it before. Anyway, I'd expected to see a few here. That's the first one nailed. I'm not going to talk too much because I'm pretty confident that we'll see some more. You can also hear there are a lot of corvids moving around, and they're not settling close yet, but perhaps if we keep quiet. But we've been here a while now. But you can hear the crows are still going absolutely crazy, and annoyingly, battery's gone on the scope cam on the GoPro. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to dispense with it. Just stuff it under my bag for now. Now, the good news is that we have got a couple of main cameras, so fingers crossed we will still be able to capture all the action. Saw that one scrabbling around in that oak right on the edge of the woods. Lost sight of it momentarily as it went into the crown, but then it came back out, froze on the trunk, quite possibly because it had clocked us. But anyway, offered us a really nice clear shot there. Like most of the shots I've taken today, it's around about 25 metres, and again, just a really nice clean wallop to the head. Bit of a dangler there. I explain this all the time, but it is worth pointing out. When you get one like that, when it's a headshot squirrel, virtually every time it's dead as soon as the pellet strikes. All that happens is there's a nervous reaction that tends to make them clench up, and they will hang for a while before they let go and drop down stone dead. Now, I must admit, I didn't even see that squirrel arrive. I just looked around and it was sat there. It wasn't very far off the ground. It was just, again, along that sort of hedge line on the woodland edge. They really do seem to like it along that spot. Right, we've had a long quiet spell now. Also, as ever, I'm feeling like I just need to move around a bit and have a stretch, so we're going to wrap it up. And on top of that, we need to get away a bit earlier today because we're heading out. We need to set up for a night vision shoot later on, so we need to get cracking for that. Corvids have been croaking away all afternoon and still going strong now. They have stubbornly refused to offer us any chances, but the important thing has been the squirrel shooting. Squirrel control is part of the management plan in these woods, and the Zeiss FX combo has certainly done a good job of that today. Obviously we started off on the move, managed to bag a couple of squirrels, and that was pleasing because that's generally more challenging than just waiting and ambushing them. And also, while I was roving around, I got a few good ideas of places where I can set up feeding stations for future visits. Then obviously we dug in here. I knew it was quite a productive area. I certainly expected it to be. We'd seen signs of squirrels. Sure enough, we had a few more from here, so that went well too. So this has been a good session. Hopefully the next one will be too. A decent session in the woods there, and nice not to be tied to a hide and feeding station for a change. Next up, I'm taking a look at the Mk5 version of the renowned Hill Airgun Pump. Not so long ago I was talking about the inconvenience of struggling to get air bottles refilled during lockdown, and I suggested a compressor as one solution. Now, an even more convenient and much more affordable solution is a manual pump like this, which provides anytime, anywhere filling, never needs to be refilled itself, and requires no power. This is the Mk5 version of the famous Hill Pump, and it's about the best you can get. This manual stirrup pump is designed specially for use with pre-charged air guns. The basic model costs £149.99, or it's £169.99 if you go for the uprated model, which includes Hill's patented dry pack filtration system. Now, the dry pack system ensures that the air coming out of this pump is absolutely dry, thus extending the working life of your air gun, and I would thoroughly recommend it.
The Hill Mk5 pump needs to be assembled when you receive it, but it is an extremely easy job and it comes with very clear instructions. Everything you need to get going is in the box, including granules for the dry pack and some Hill silicone grease for basic maintenance. Now it only took me about 2 minutes to put the whole thing together, and all I needed was an adjustable wrench and of course the probe to fit my airgun. Handling the basic components really brings home just how sturdy and well engineered this Sheffield made pump is. Now everything feels to be really well constructed, from the sturdy footplate to the chunky but very flexible hose. Now apart from being strong, the handle is also really grippy and very comfortable, which certainly helps when you put this pump to work. This latest model features several improvements that make it faster and easier to use, and simpler and quicker to service. Maximum fill pressure is now over 300 bar, and those latest refinements make it much less strain to get it there. Getting the best from a pump like this hinges on using the right technique, and my advice is to use the full length of the stroke and let your body weight do the work. To make filling really quick and easy, go for quick top-up charges rather than starting with the gun at a really low pressure. Now, once I'd reached the pressure within the gun, refilling my RM8 UC from 150 bar to 200 bar took me 40 strokes and about 45 seconds, and it was no great strain at all. Once you reach your desired pressure, all you need to do is slacken off the bleed screw to depressurise the hose and then detach from your gun. Now, apart from always being ready for use, the Hill Mk5 pump is also very light and easy to transport. So it's easy to pop it into your boot and take it to the range, ready for extra refills if you're planning to take a lot of shots. The Hill Pump brand is respected as an industry leader, and for good reason. They've been leading the way in the design of airgun pumps for years, and their build quality is without compromise. The attention to detail can be seen in every element, from the clearly marked gauge to the fact that even the box is marked with zeroing targets that are also clearly marked with 1 inch and 1 centimetre markings to help you measure your group sizes. They really don't miss a trick. So that's the Mk5 version of the Hill Pump. Smooth and easy to use and built to meticulous standards, it really is one of the best that money can buy. If you want a mobile and dependable charging option that isn't restricted by bottle filling or power sources, then give this British-made manual airgun pump a go. It really is fantastic.
Don't miss the award-winning Airgun Shooter magazine. It's packed with hunting features, reviews, tactics and insight to help you become an even more successful shooter. Get your copy today in shops or online.
That's all for this week, but as ever we'll be back again in a fortnight. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And if you aren't already a member of the BASC, have a look at their website and check out the benefits that you could be taking advantage of through Airgun membership.